Welcome to the Joseph Evaldi Podcast. On tonight's program, I will discuss what I did during Blizzard Jonas. As many of the East Coast knows, they were hit by a very bad storm, and the day of the storm, it left for a lot of time to do stuff around the house. The day after, left back-breaking work, and it left pain, and I will discuss a little bit of both on tonight's podcast. But first, I'm going to take a short break, and then I'm going to get back to the podcast.
Introduction. For as long as we can remember, we grew up in families. Whether it was to our natural parents, foster parents, or it was our aunts and uncles who raised us, we were born into a family and a pecking order. This was our position and standing in the family. Some of us have dealt with our parents first. Some of us had to cope with the fact that there was a smaller member of the family, and some of us dealt with the fact that we had to deal with older members of the family. They were our siblings. Through this time, we develop into people we want to be. We have an idea of the job we want in life, and we have an idea of who we want to marry. Quote, birth order is widely recognized in individual psychology as a determinant of personality. Ashby, Locierco, and Kenny, 2003, page 43. We develop our certain paths by learning from our parents and our siblings. Even singletons go through the growing up process developing traits. Eventually, we learn to interpret where we stand in the family. According to Campbell et al., quote, psychological birth order is generally defined as the way a person perceives and interprets his or her position in the family constellation. Ashley, Locierco, and Kenny, 2003, page 44. This is where we gradually formulate ideas, and we grow them into our own. Oftentimes, this leads to conflict within the ranking of birth order. The next section will discuss how birth order develops in people.
That was birth order. How the roles of each sibling are placed at birth, written by Joseph Evaldi. It is now available on audio, on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes. It is also available on the Amazon Kindle. Back to the podcast. Okay, I'm back. How fitting this story about birth order fits with this weekend. Family. And this weekend, I've dealt with a lot of family this weekend in the podcast, or in the Blizzard, I mean. And the whole idea is cleaning, undertaking a cleaning project and straightening things out, and it sets up for spring cleaning. I discussed a little bit about that last podcast, and it's going to be the recurring theme. But it started the grunt work. It's rounding stuff up. But through it, you go through memories. Memories of the past, memories of the things you want to remember, and the things you like to forget. I'm going to go on a limb in saying this. That day was dedicated to that. And with cleaning, with Blizzard, you can't really leave anywhere, so you do homework. You do the work in the home that needs to be done. You take care of the things that you need to take care of. However, you can't get to the garbage can, so garbage keeps piling up. Fortunately, there were no power outages that I experienced in this storm. Cable didn't go out. Electric didn't go out. And everything else. Internet too. We were lucky. Some people weren't lucky, and they have to deal with those situations in a time of need. But basically, you couldn't travel in that storm. It was not good and not safe to be on the roads. But thank God the storm has passed, and we were in the need of recovery, which took place the next day. But first, I'm going to discuss about cleaning a little bit. Cleaning is essential. In order for you to have your house in order, you gotta go through stuff and you gotta organize stuff. And sometimes it takes just a little bit to do a lot. Maybe you can't do it all at once. That's true. Go to one room at a time, a little bit at a time, changing your routines, changing your order. That's just one step. And you might not know, but what you do in your home could affect what you do in your real life. So that's one way of looking at it. Another thing I did was start working on something that I did 20 years ago, which was a writing project of mine, and I called it The Passage of Joe. I was a kid then, but basically it was my writings through the junior year of high school, which I'm working on right now. And I haven't finished it yet, but hopefully by come September or June or around that time, September or something like that, maybe it'll be out. But I'm going to try to work hard on completing it. And I'm going to try to work hard on completing as many projects as I can this year. But we'll see how everything goes. But that's the first project I'm working on this year, and it plays a role and sets the theme for the year. Revisiting the past. The past is something we don't want to face, but we face it eventually. Like I mentioned last podcast, we got to go through our stuff. And situations of blizzards force us to go through the stuff because we can't do anything else. We could relax, but you have that nagging sense that something needs to be taken care of. Some people don't want to take care of it, but some people do. And it's owning up and taking responsibility for that. And that is how it is. And I'm going to discuss more on the other part of the blizzard, which was the day after. And that's the cleaning. More after the break. I'm going to discuss a little bit about my new book that came out December 26th of 2015. It is The Evolution of the Squared Circle, the Production of Professional Wrestling. Now, in this book, I discuss about the grassroots from black and white TV production to the importance of cable TV and how WCCW, which is World Class Championship Wrestling, and the WWE, which was the WWF back then, and the NWA, which is the National Wrestling Alliance, went for cable. And then I discuss the evolution into the Monday Night Wars, to the internet, to the birth of TNA, and all that other good stuff. Even ending with the network, the WWE network. Wrestling has transformed, and that book is now available on the Amazon Kindle. Back to the podcast. Alright, I'm back. And now I'm going to discuss about the day after the storm, which many are saying is back-breaking work, which it is. And unfortunately, many have lost their lives because of the storm, which was reported 5. And the storm, or maybe more, I'm not sure. But when you're shoveling snow, you need to pace yourself. If you know your body is tired, you don't push yourself to do more, you take a break. And then you go at it again later, when you're rested. This way, you don't stress yourself out, and you don't give yourself a heart attack, which unfortunately some have. It's not a job for one person to do. It is a job that a few people could do.